Hello, everyone, and welcome to B&E Presents the Trend. This is episode 9. I am Alviana Brewster, the founder and CEO of Black Nurse Entrepreneurs, also known as B&E. We are the premier networking organization for Black nurses who are interested in launching, building, and growing their entrepreneurial endeavors. In this episode, we are going to discuss the Scrub Shop Academy with Miss Tina M. Payne. Tina Payne, MSN in Education, RN, also known as CEO Mom, is a registered nurse, wife, a homeschool mom of 5, author, international speaker, and business owner. She is the founder of Tina M. Payne Consulting, LLC, and the owner of Grace Health Scrubs, a mobile online scrub shop store. After successfully launching her online scrubs medical apparel business, Tina began to offer her services by coaching other nurses who were tired of working on the bedside with getting their scrub business up and going. Tina uses her combined business, teaching, and nursing expertise in order to elevate, mentor, and coach other exceptional women seeking a transformation as they start or grow their dream business. Tina helps nurses and other women alike to discover their purpose and to create a dream business through her individualized business coaching, online digital products, and group education. Without further ado, I present to you the dynamic CEO boss queen, Miss Tina M. Payne. Hello, Miss Tina. How are you today?
I am good. I am good. How are you?
I am doing very, very good. So, first of all, thank you for joining us today in Black Nurse Entrepreneurs. I am so happy to see you. And you're looking stunning too, by the way.
Well,
Um, for the people who do not know who Miss Tina M. Payne is, go ahead and tell us who you are.
oh, wow. So, like you said, thank you again, Miss Alviana, for inviting me. Like you said, I am a business owner, a wife, a mother of 5, um, a nurse. I am doing a lot of different things, business owner, and trying to give back to those who also need help in getting on the right track with their businesses. So, in the shortest
So,
as possible, that's what I, I know.
tell us a little bit about your nursing background. How did you even become a nurse to begin with?
So let's see. I went to Wright State University in Dayton, Ohio. After being there not even quite a full year, I found myself pregnant with my oldest daughter, Tania. And I originally I wanted to be a doctor. I wanted to be a pediatrician. And so once I found out I was pregnant, I felt like I needed to change my major,
Mhm.
and I decided to go with nursing. So that's actually what my thought process was when I decided to go from biology to nursing, because I knew it was going to be very difficult to try to do medical school. And I really, I didn't want to have to leave school and do all these other things that people were suggesting. So I graduated in 2004. And a month later, I took my NCLEX and started working at Ohio State in Columbus, Ohio. I had an internship. They actually gave me a scholarship my last quarter of nursing school in exchange for working for them for 2 years, I think. So I started out there on a med surge floor. I think after that, I just started doing all types of different specialties. I didn't stay there but a few years, but I went at that time. I actually worked for them twice.
Mhm.
I did hospice. I did uh, progressive care. I did, I say hospice, home health. What else did I do? Um, ER, ICU as a float. So I did a variety of different backgrounds in nursing. So it's been about 16, well, going on 16 years.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And then, so whenever you first graduated, you graduated with a BSN and then went into MSN a little bit later on, correct?
Yes, yes. That was several years later. I did education. Um, I went to University of Phoenix for that, which it was pretty good. And then right after that, I forgot I taught. I taught at Hondros College of Nursing for a little bit. And even during my last few months of my master's program is when I really decided something just changed or clicked in me that I felt like I needed to do something on my own. It was like, and I look back on it now, like did all of that just to be, to do something you didn't really need a degree for. But I don't think I would be here had I not went through the different, educational steps that I did. Because what it did was it gave me the confidence, because we had to take a lot of accounting. We had to create different, things for like if you had a business during those last few months. And so it just made me realize like I can do this for myself, and so that was why, that's what really started getting me to thinking like I want to have my own business, start my own business. And that's when I started doing some research. So that was in 2013.
So, what led to your first business? Because Scrub Shop was not your first business, correct?
No, it is not.
What was the first one?
So my first business was I always, I get a little emotional talking about my first business because it is like really it was my baby. But Grace Health Career Center actually was my very first business that I launched at the end of 2013. And that was an STNA program, CPR. We did medication administration training as well. And so I actually, when I was researching what business to look into, I was on YouTube, like a lot of people are, and I came across Dr. Tracy McClellan, who I believe she is in this group. She was my first
She is.
mentor. So
Okay.
I went through her program and went through, I mean, it was it felt like a year-long boot camp, but with getting everything prepared for that business. But it really taught me so much. Like a lot of things that I use now, and I even teach my students and clients, is from the things that I learned going through that whole entire process of collecting equipment, getting all these different certifications, creating documents, just really getting organized. So I'm always grateful for that experience. But I launched it in 2013 in Columbus, Ohio, when I was living there. And a few months later, I didn't know I was going to go through a really bad divorce. So fast forward, I ended up, having to put that on pause, relocate back home 2 hours south. And I, went on ahead and started over here in Cincinnati. Finally got a space, got my clinical area together, got my office together, got approved, sent my application off. Everything was good. I got approved and everything. So I launched like my first class in the middle of 2014, I think.
Okay.
And it was really good. So that was really, really exciting. But then life again.
Life.
So life again happened. Again, I said I had went through a divorce the year prior. This following year, I met my now husband. And so we got pregnant. I was on bed rest, like the last, towards the middle of my pregnancy to the end. I had a lot of swelling, getting dizzy, all kind of issues. So I really couldn't even stand for very long. So I had to like reduce my hours at work. Ended up just having to close the school because I didn't have things in place, like, like I know better now, but I didn't have things in place for someone to take over my classes while I was taking care of my health. And so after a few months, I ended up having to close it down. And so, of course, you have to stay current with the state in order to continue your program. And so I did not. So after having my last son in 2017, towards the end of 2017, it was more in October. I was still not even all the way better. Even after I had him, I had to go back in
Sure.
the hospital for another week because I had preeclampsia, which I didn't know you could get after you deliver, but I
Wow.
had it really bad. My pressure was like 190. They had put me on mag sulfate, etc. So anyway, I had a lot of recuperating to do. Um, and so going into, I'm sorry, he was born in 2016. Lord have mercy. So going to the following year, that's when I was like, you know what? God gave me a purpose. I know that I'm supposed to do more than working at the bedside, although I do love aspects of it. I just could not get the entrepreneurial bug out of me, you know. So even though I had that time frame where I had to pause, that's when I started looking again at the beginning of 2017. Like, what can I do? What should I do? What could I do from home where I could still take care of my baby and, you know, my children and
Mhm.
homeschool? So, so yeah.
I'm glad that you are being very transparent about the journey because I think it's important. A lot of people will see where you are now
Hmm.
and admire that, which it is very admirable. Don't get me wrong, but I think it's important for people to see the steps along the way, that journey, and it's not all great.
Hmm.
There were some little knocks along the way, but it's important for people to see that if I would have given up and thrown in the towel, I
Hmm.
wouldn't be where I am now. And that goes for nursing school and motherhood and being a wife and now a business owner. I
Hmm.
think your story is very important for people to really listen and learn the lessons. And just like you said, even with the CNA school, I learned that, okay, I need to have these processes in place just in case something were to happen. My school continues to run smoothly, even without me being there, maybe from a day to day standpoint. So,
Hmm.
very, very important. I'm glad that you're bringing those types of things up, and I appreciate you for sharing that with us.
Oh, you're welcome.
So, with that being said, you want to share with us. Tina has a little special thing that she just went through not too long ago. She and I, there becomes a time in an entrepreneurial's life, in within entrepreneurship where you, especially in nurse entrepreneurship, I think there is that moment where you're like, okay,
Hmm.
should I stay at the bedside a little longer?
Hmm.
Or should I go to that business? Because I have this back and forth, this pull and tug. I don't know what I want to do here, but I'm feeling like I need to go over here. So tell us about what just happened with you recently.
Okay, so I want to tell you about that. Let me tell you about that because I don't want people to think that that was like that came after 3 years of being
Right.
in business. You know what I mean with this business.
Okay.
So
You want to back up? We can back up
yeah,
and go
let's
through.
back up.
Okay, let's back up. So
Yeah,
tell us a little bit more about the business journey because it
yeah,
leads up to the good part.
yeah. The good part. So basically, during that time, remember I was saying I had my little baby. I'm online at night looking like what can I do from on home do from home. I'm sorry, online. Like
Mhm.
online was that was my answer to a lot of issues. You know, not even issues, but just being able to have freedom at home with my family. Okay, so I never, wanted to homeschool your children prior to COVID and also wanted to be an entrepreneur, in my opinion, are around the same. You have to have the same type of mindset because
Mhm.
you're breaking traditional thought processes on when, what people tell us to do as we're being raised. Like you have to get a job, go to college, get a job, work, retire, etc.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Or, go to school, regular school, traditional school, and do all of these different things and let a teacher teach your children. So both of those things happen around the same time. And so my mindset had evolved. Like 5 years prior, I wasn't even thinking about homeschooling, or even it didn't make sense to me. So
Mhm.
anyway, I bring that up because I needed the freedom to be able to do that. Okay.
Okay.
So And this was in 2017. So I was looking online. I started searching, something that could be related to nursing, but not be as demanding as a CNA school would be. And so I needed some compression socks for myself because I was still having swelling from the pregnancy.
Mm-hmm.
And as a result of that, so I was genuinely looking for things for myself in that regard, new uniforms to go back to work. And so I just started searching. And then I started hearing about people starting scrubs business. I'm like, okay, let me look into this, and I was looking for the socks. I started clicking around and I saw a retailer inquiry. And that's kind of where it started. I just was inquisitive, wanting to know, well, what do I need to do to sell these socks? And so that's kind of where it started. And so I launched Grace Health Scrubs.
Mm-hmm.
The name is from Grace Health Career Center. But I launched it in August 28th of 2017. So our anniversary is this year or this month. And so I started with like $600. I didn't have a lot of money. And I just started with, a case of scrubs, a case of shoes.
Wow.
And I just went from there. I built my own website. I've built my own website from that point until now. I'm just now getting ready to have someone do my website over here
Wow.
in a few weeks. So all this time I've taught myself how to, do Shopify, update things in all of those, different aspects. And just as I've gone along, that's when other nurses were inquiring like, oh, that is a good business idea.
Mm-hmm.
How do you do that? And it was in this very group. This is the group I would give a lot of credit to, probably 90% of the credit to, that really helped me cultivate just my, way of reaching out to people.
Mm-hmm.
But even before that, I was seeking another type of mentor. And so that's when I came across Miss Chanel Washington.
Mm-hmm.
So she was my business coach for sales and strategy and profit building and things like that. And so she and I worked together for a few months. And as a result of that, and during that process, like I said, I was getting a lot of inquiries within the group and from other people. And that's when I decided, like, you know what? The information was not very easy for me to figure out. Let me go ahead and see what I can do for other nurses. So I started doing polls. I started asking people what exact information that they wanted. Excuse me. And, that led to my first digital product, which was the Ultimate Scrubs Business Planning Guide.
Gotcha. Okay.
I created that at work on a night shift in 2 days. I started on a Friday night and I finished, it was done by Monday morning, and I had put it for sale. And that guide has been my best selling digital product since then. And that was early 2018.
Wow.
And the reason I also bring that up is because sometimes we have all of this knowledge that we're sitting on, and just being able to write things out step by step and provide it to someone else who's interested, you just never know where that's going to take you. I had no idea from that one product, that one digital item, that would bring me all the way to Scrub Shop Academy, and then also being, having one-on-one clients and things like that. I had no idea that was going to happen. So both businesses just started to bloom together, the Scrubs business and then me helping people with their Scrubs business. And so Grace Health Scrubs has, like I said, has been around 3 years. And although I've been helping people with coaching and things like that since 2018, I just registered that business last summer. And I did it on the same date as Grace Health Scrubs. I wanted the dates to be the same, even though the years are different. So that anniversary is this month as well. So fast forward to 2020, the year of the
nurse.
We did not know what we were in for. Now, I believe in the power of manifestation and affirmations. And a year ago, I definitely put on my vision board that I wanted to leave the hospital. I wanted to quit. I had been working at this particular hospital since I moved home after my, last marriage. So that had been, it would have been 6 years in June. So I had been working there, the whole time. I've been having both businesses in the float pool, basically able to create my own hours. And, at the beginning of this year, I'm just like, when am I going to be able to quit? Like, I was waiting on someone to give me permission. It sounds silly, but in my head, I'm just like, I'm seeing the numbers, I see the money, whatever, but people are going to think I'm crazy. Like, I was still thinking that. I think I text somebody in this group. It might have been Victoria. And I was just like, when should I leave? Like, I don't even know. Like, and she was like, girl, you'll know when you know. Like, you make sure you got your stuff together, make sure you got your money together, all this other stuff. So anyway, March 16th we were probably right at the beginning of COVID. We were actually. We might have maybe 2 or 3 weeks in, as far as like really, really starting to see and hear about people getting it. And I was at the hospital. I was working in the ER March 16th. And they had already been talking about it on the news, like people needed to wear masks. But of course, it wasn't that big of a deal. But they placed me. I was in a float pool, so they put you wherever. They placed me in the ER right by the door to screen people for COVID. And we didn't have as much information as we have now. And so I just remember feeling like, not only do I not want to do this, but I don't have to.
That part.
I don't have to. And I had a really bad attitude. Like, I was like, God, I was like, this is my last day. This is my last night. I repeated it like 3 times while I was sitting there. Because when I walked in, I asked them what I was doing. You're going to be screening people for COVID as they come in. Okay. Do you have some kind of a policy, a CDC fact sheet, so I can know what I'm asking them, what I'm supposed to be looking for? What type of garb am I supposed to have on? Do you have any of these things? Oh, let me call the supervisor. Nobody's asked us that. Okay. Just get a report from the other float nurse that's up there. Okay. So I'm going in the supply room. I'm looking for masks and all kinds of stuff to put on, even though they didn't tell me to. So I got a shield. Not a shield. I had on the goggles because my mom, she's been on it from day one. She's like, you need something over your eyes and your nose. So that night I had that over my eyes, and then I had several masks that I had put in my pocket. And so, I'm just, people are coming in, walking out. They're mad because I won't let their families through. So anyway, it was just horrible. It was a horrible night. And I even had this one guy who was in the lobby waiting to go be seen. He started arguing with the police officer because the police officer sitting there told him he needed a mask on. And the guy said, well, you don't have a mask on. And I was just like, yeah, that's true. You don't, So it was just like so much bureaucracy, obviously. And I just have gotten to the point in my life where if I'm not doing something that I am happy and genuinely, excited about, I don't have to do it. I don't care if I went to school for this. I am not going to continue to, first of all, be looked at like, I'm not smart. You know what I'm saying? I done been through all of these different things with, administration and stuff like that. And just killing myself and missing out on my family, missing out on my children, missing out on events and things that I want to do. Yes, the money is great. I make more now. But it wasn't easy. You know what I mean? But I'm just thankful that I went through all of those things to be able to, now say, okay, God, what's next for me? And I have to be able to share and help other people because I don't want anybody going to work and just feeling miserable because they feel like, okay, I went to school for this. Now I just have to stay. I have to endure it. And I've switched specialties plenty of times. So I know I'm just done. You know what I'm saying? So What's the next question?
Well, you
Oh,
know
how
what?
did I leave?
Yeah, you got to get to the actual leaving part, right? the
So,
good part.
yeah. So, I mean, that was like I said, that was the last night, and I wasn't on the schedule anymore, but I went on ahead and put in my notice, probably like a week later. And I just, I didn't put any of those reasons in there, but I just told him I was moving on. Thank you for, allowing me to be here. And, you know, that was it. I put in my notice, and that was March of this year. And so that was I feel like one of the boldest things that I've ever done, as far as going against what, popular opinion, or, people are looking for jobs. How are you going to quit a job? All of these different opinions about what you should be doing with your life. You know what I mean? So I'm just grateful and thankful to God that He's provided me with the insight, the knowledge, the heart to do what I'm doing. And so I just want to make sure that I'm doing my part beyond just, um, you know, selling merchandise or whatever.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
yes.
So, in that aspect, you and I are very similar. We both have the same degree and sort of quit around the same time with the same kind of story, essentially.
Yeah.
Um, what I want to talk about is, for me personally, when I got my master's degree, everybody was like, "Oh, so you're going to go teach at a school or, at the hospital or whatever."
Mhm.
And I was like, maybe. I mean, if there's a job that presents itself and I want to take it, I'll do it, but doesn't necessarily mean that that was my complete goal.
Right.
And so, people that were just basic associates, I would leave it at that. And I would just say, oh, I got it for me.
Mhm.
It was just something that I wanted to do. And then if an opportunity of some sort presented itself, I'll take it. But, I'm fine doing what I'm doing right now. And I left it at that. Now, people like you or some of my other closer friends, I
Yeah.
had a discussion about, obviously, this is where I want to take B&E, and this is how I want to use this degree. And it's kind of a non-traditional way. So I kind of feel like you have a very similar story. I want you to talk about, maybe if people were saying this sort of the same thing with you, like, okay,
Mhm.
you have this MS in education. We quite naturally assume that you're either going to teach at a university or you're going to teach within the hospital. But I've actually learned, just kind of like what you said earlier, that it provided me with another way to look at nursing and
Mhm.
to be a professional. They harped on certain things such as servant leadership and
Mhm.
change agent, and they
Right.
constantly talked about those types of things. So I want you to share with us maybe your personal experience and how you're not necessarily doing MSN in education traditionally, but nonetheless you're still teaching nurses how to have their business or how to find their purpose or what have you.
Yes, definitely. Absolutely. So I feel like, and even when I did teach at Hondros, I taught LPNs, and I did the last quarter. I think it was career and development or something along those lines. So it was actually pretty close to what I, do now with coaching.
Mhm.
But I just think that nursing is a vehicle. You know what I mean? You can continue to use it, and not use it, but perform or practice is what the word I'm looking for, traditionally. But it gives you so many options. It's like a starting point. I don't regret it whatsoever. I know I can go work if I want to. I know I can go and earn, something very quickly. It's a great career where you have so many options. But I think we as nurses who have worked very long, you get burnt out. And once you've gotten to that point, you don't need to be at the bedside anymore. Because I've seen a lot of burnt out nurses who are very mean to their patients. And you're like, and to the staff, like, what are you doing? Why are you still here, Edna? You you 70. Go sit down.
Right.
You done.
Right.
You don't need to be mean. And I'm seeing nurses push, they got to walk to their car with a wheelchair. They're pushing a wheelchair with their bags hanging on them because I can't do it. I said I couldn't do it. So utilizing my education obviously gives you some credibility in, nursing. And then, as you grow in different areas, you can utilize a lot of the things that you've learned. I mean, doing an assessment is very important, not only when you're doing a bedside assessment or a patient, but you do an assessment within business. You're using the same type of critical thinking, not exactly the same, but the same type of step-by-step process in business. And that's not something that we learned in nursing school, because that's not what we were there for. We're there to be workers. You know what I'm saying? So when I look back even on education and different things like that, like the masses are being trained to be workers. Okay. Right. So if you are trying to do anything outside of that box, you're going to be looked at as really different and weird. But if you take back that power and just use that experience to help you grow in other areas and give back, I feel like that being a nurse has empowered me, because I've had that leadership. I've had that experience. And so now the way I was working for them, I'm working for myself. As hard as I work for them, I'm going to work harder for myself. It just really reaffirmed how strong I actually am, or that we actually are as nurses. Like, NCLEX was hard. Nursing school was hard. If anything you want to do outside of that, you got it. You can do it. Like, you got it. I don't care. Like, I'm just saying, I'm trying to think it's about a million things I would rather do than go back through nursing school.
I know that's right.
I would be a surrogate and have some babies for somebody.
I know that's right.
Like, so if you got that in you and you could do that, man, there is so much you can do. And I just love the fact that even now it's more accepted to have different ideas. And it's like, we all have a skill set, but we all have gifts as well. And so use the skill set to get you to the gift. God gave us the gift to share with the world, is more than just one thing. So
I 100% agree. And what would you say about people? Because let's face it, probably a good majority of us in the group are still working some form of bedside, something another, or a 9-to-5 kind of job. But for you, what was it like trying to transform your mindset from employee mindset to entrepreneur mindset?
Well, let me first say, if whoever is still working or who continues to work is perfectly fine. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. Don't feel ashamed, even if you're in business and you've been in business a while and you still have to work. No shame. Just do what you have to do, right? So what was the question?
I want to know, for you, with entrepreneur, from going from employee mindset to entrepreneur, it's two different things. And like you said, nursing school teaches us how to be really good employees, right? And so a lot of people, whenever they, people have a thought that I want to be a boss nurse, I want to have my own stuff. But sometimes that mindset is not really geared towards what it means to be an entrepreneur. Because everything that you're at work and you have a responsibility over here and you do that job and you go home, now all of those other higher level responsibilities now fall within your lap. You are that boss nurse that you wanted to be. That is you now. And so again, they don't teach us that in school. So how did you, for you personally, how was that journey trying to transform your mindset from bedside and employee to entrepreneurship?
It took time. It wasn't anything that happened overnight. I think just these last 3 years, especially, seeing the progress that I made within business. And then, like you said, correlating that with the fact that everything falls on me, all the customer service. If somebody doesn't like anything, the returns, there is a lot of money that you're going to be spending, and sometimes you're going to be losing money too, and you are responsible. But the mindset shift, it there has to be some confidence building in order to be an entrepreneur.
Definitely.
And because just going from just being an employee one day and an owner the next, you're not necessarily going to get a paycheck from your business every 2 weeks, you know? And so that's where the fear comes in for a lot of people. And so that's why it's always good to have something else to fall back on or work simultaneously until you don't have to. But mindset is huge when it comes to discipline. You have to have discipline to be your own boss. Um, there's so many things that I do on a daily basis that, first of all, nobody's telling me to do it. Nobody's asking me to do it. Nobody, is going to say, "Oh, you got to do inventory today," or "You have to upload this to your site," or "You need to follow up with these people." Like, you have to be in the position to know the things that is going to help you grow. You also have to understand when it's time to get help.
Yes.
So that is a big piece that I don't think a lot of people talk about. And I probably wouldn't even be where I am in this short amount of time without coaching, without other nurses or other mentors to help guide me. And so when you are looking to grow, you have to invest. You just have to. Either whether it's a program, whether it is within a one-on-one with someone. Not, you don't invest with everybody, but you invest with what the person or the program that's going to be in alignment with your outcome that you're seeking, the outcome that you're seeking. And so I definitely feel though that that is huge, because you're going to be exposed to things and thought processes that you wouldn't have gotten to on your own in that amount of time. And that's the beauty of working with someone who is ahead of you in certain aspects, because you are benefiting from their experience. You're benefiting from their work that they've already done.
Correct.
So you don't have to go 2 years trying to figure something out. You might only have to go 3 months to get to a certain place because you invested. And so even having that mindset to invest is something not normal to people. It's like, why am I going to pay her this when I could just do that or just do this? Well, because you're not ready. First of all, if you're questioning all of these different things and you see that this person has successfully done X, Y, and Z with multiple people or with multiple types of, you know, experiences, you can't really devalue what someone else their experience is. And they're the ones who place the number, and whether you want to take that route or not, yeah, that's up to you. But is it going to be a short route or a long route?
Right.
And so that's really what helped me a lot quicker, get going a lot, faster than I feel like I would have just trying to do it all on my own. So that's pretty much it.
Yeah, I agree with that as well. And the saying is you're either gonna pay for it with money or time, one or the other. So
Yeah.
you can spend time, you can spend years trying to figure things out,
Mm-hmm.
or you can invest the money and try to benefit from somebody else's expertise. So you're 100% right about that.
Yeah.
Um, I truly admire your story and just what you've been able really to do in a short amount of time, because and then through adversity continue to be successful. I mean, every time I turn on Facebook, you're doing something else new, or got another pose or another promo video or something. So I'm like, oh my goodness, I got to catch up because she's doing the doggone thing. And I'm just proud of your success. I know that you entered into BNE summer of 2017.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, that's just 3 years ago. And the amount of progress that I've seen from
Mm-hmm.
you has been tremendous. And I know there are people in this group. They
Mm-hmm.
may not be as vocal or as visible, but I know that they have a very similar story or situation, and they are just waiting for that moment. And it's like with anything else, I tell people, look, success comes from whenever you are persistent and dedicated. You have to stay through the good part and bad part. Am I right?
Absolutely.
Let me ask you this. Have you had some tough times in business where you thought about giving it up and being like, I can't do this no more?
Yes, a few times. A few times. And, but I feel like I just can't. I won't. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't make sense to give up when you know for a fact that what you have people need, people want. If things are not working, there's something I need to change within myself, because I'm the one that's pretty much controlling everything. So where do I need to cut cost or, figure out certain things, like when I was looking at my website when I first started, I was getting all this traffic on my website, but I wasn't getting orders. So that was a problem I had to solve. Oh, I figured it out. It was my website. It was simple. You need a mobile friendly website. You need a fast loading website. You need images that pop up quickly because people got 2 seconds. You got about 2 to 5 seconds for they jump off your site to another one. There's things like that, it's that people will be like, well, I'm not getting nobody buying nothing,
Right.
Well, no, it's you. You got to figure it out. So ain't no point in giving up.
Makes
It's,
sense. What,
it's not an option.
Tina, what is your why?
My why is my family, all my children, and having the freedom to do with them, have the time with them. Um, my mom is an entrepreneur. And so she has a commercial cleaning company that she's owned for about 17 years. So seeing her work and seeing that you can do it. You don't have to work for anyone else if you don't want to. She's always given me encouragement and she's been my biggest supporter. And she would always say, I wish I could do what you're doing. I wish I could have homeschooled you. I wish I could have, those types of things. I had more time where I didn't have to work. Before she had her business, she worked like 2 jobs, when we were kids. So my why is my family and my children. I want to demonstrate to them the possible what's possible, and that they don't have to recreate wealth once they get older. I don't want them to have to start from zero. So that is my legacy. That's what I'm trying to build. No, that's what I am building. Try is not in my vocabulary anymore. So
It's what I'm doing.
it's what I am
I
doing
know that's right.
and what I am trying to help. No, what I am helping other people do for their families.
What makes you different? Couple of things. First and foremost, we've had people to come within B&E before, um, saying that they are scrub shop bosses, and come to find out they weren't scrub shop anything. They were scamming and scheming. And you know how I feel about things like that. I do not believe in scams and schemes at all. So
Mm-hmm.
we get rid of that type of energy real quick, don't we?
Yes,
That
definitely.
with that being said, what makes you different? Why should people either buy scrubs from you
Mm-hmm.
or work with you getting their scrub shop up and going?
Well, what makes me different is I serve God. I know for a fact that what I do, I have to answer to Him, good or bad, number one. So, nothing, there is no reason for me to even jeopardize, my spirit, my spirituality, or, anything like that. I always, like my mom always told me, what you do in the dark comes to light. And
That's
when
right.
you do people wrong, it will come back to you. So I believe that wholeheartedly. I've been the girl who, if I'm with a crowd of my friends and we somewhere and they want to dine and dash when I was younger, I couldn't do it. I'd be the only one. I'd be still standing there. They'd be gone out the door. I'm like, no. Because as soon as I do something, I'm going to get caught. Like that's just been my
That was me too, Tina. I'm like,
moving slow. Like, wait a minute, y'all serious? They already gone.
right.
Man, listen. So with that said, I can't, I will not intentionally hurt anyone. But what makes me different is that I believe in excellence. And I want to not only demonstrate that from, within myself, but I want to assist other people in that way. And so I may not have all the answers when it comes to certain things, but I'm going to provide you with as much information, quality information, or referrals, or another source that can assist you along the way. And so when I'm working with one-on-one clients or even my Scrub Shop Academy students, you know, I keep them updated on even the things that I'm learning as I go, because this is an industry that right now is up and down sometimes, even though we are serving essential population or essential workers. There's going to be ups and downs. And so I like to really provide people with exceptional service, follow up, follow through, encouragement, um, and a lot of motivation so that they know that they can do exactly what they set out to do. And I want to hold them accountable, because I don't want you coming to me expecting something and you're not even believing in yourself enough to actually execute the things that I've provided you with, or the, recommendations. And so that's why I go through a screening process. That's something I had to learn in the beginning, because I wasn't screening people in the beginning and I got burned. You know what I mean? And so from that point forward, I have questions. Why? And why me? Like, what are your motives? Even though you may be looking at me like, well, why should I work with you? And I'm looking at you like, why should I work with you?
Okay.
I have a level of integrity, as well as, like I said, an excellence that I want to, my brand that I'm building, I want that to exude excellence at all times. And I don't want anybody shady or crazy or whack coming across my coming across my messenger. Seriously, I don't have time for the shenanigans. Like, I'm so
We don't.
serious. Like, I'm definitely qualified to help you, period. But if you want some other stuff, or you want a screenshot, you want to take my information and try to, do something else with it, it will be revealed.
What's done in the dark.
Exactly. Exactly.
Fantastic. Yeah, I agree. I
Hmm.
simply do. So the biggest big announcement is that I think there's some sort of a revamp or something going on with the Scrub Shop Academy. Tell us, tell us, tell us.
Yes, ma'am. So Scrub Shop Academy is my online course that I help nurses primarily, but other healthcare workers, or anyone interested in launching an online scrub store. I have redone everything as far as the modules and the experience, and I've also implemented some different new rules, I would say, because, like I said, accountability is very important. But I'm excited to announce that right now we are registering people for the open house. And so our open house is going to be August 12th. And what that means is I'm going to go over the new program, the new class,
Okay.
for 2020, fall of 2020. And so you're going to get a sneak peek into the virtual experience of Scrub Shop Academy. We have some updated information that I'm going to be sharing with you guys. And also, I'm going to be doing a scholarship, and I'll tell them about that. A scholarship to work with me one on one. We'll talk about that during the open house. Um, and some other things. But I just want people to register who have been very interested and been messaging me about when the next class is, so that they can really get in on this opportunity. Because, like I said, if you working with me, or if you're doing anything with me, I want to see you win. I genuinely want to see you win. And I'm just very excited and proud, even of my current students and past students, of their progress. It's just amazing to see how they, started with nothing, and now they have actual businesses that they're running, that they are getting contracts for, with different local facilities and hospitals and stuff like that. So I just want to continue to encourage people. But yes, so Scrub Shop Academy, August 12th. The link, I believe, is in the caption.
Yeah, I put it in the description for us, and I'll put
Okay.
it
And
in across all of our other social platforms and stuff as well.
yes, so register, because as of right now, we have 100 seats and we've already had 145 people register.
Wow.
Yeah, as of the last time I checked. So what that means is when you log in for that open house, if you log in and you actually get in, don't leave because it's 100 seats. It just is. I want to be very, very exclusive about this opportunity. This is not something that, you know, is going to come across every day. And I just really want you guys to understand that, because when you have something very special, you have to protect it, and you have to, show people that, it's real. It just really is.
Hmm.
The actual class is going to start though in August 24th. So
Okay.
all those details will go out during the open house. The pricing structure will go out during the open house. I won't announce that publicly until after we've done the open house. So
Okay.
if anybody wants to know that information, let me know. So that's about it.
Great, great. I'm excited for you. This is going to be good, and I've enjoyed. Yeah, first and foremost, honey, that promo video that you just dropped about a week or so ago was fire. I looked at, I said, "Oh
Thank
my
you.
goodness!"
Thank you.
So yeah, whoever did the videography, we need their name and number, because you did an excellent job, and it exudes just power,
Mm.
feminism, black excellence. It exudes all of the above, and so just kudos to doing a fantastic job.
Thank you so
For
much.
for people on this live right now, B&E is made up of a lot of different people. Okay. I have people who are nursing students, who are CNAs,
Mhm.
all the way up the chain. I have people that have PhDs and DNPs, and they're like, I'm sick of this and I want to do this. Who can do Scrub Shop Academy? Is this for everyone?
So Scrub Shop Academy is open to anyone who wants to start a scrubs business online. This is not, and let me just clarify this too. I don't teach you how to design your own scrubs. That is something that my good sister friend Celestine Jean, that's her expertise. And we talk
Okay.
about, she and I do a tour together where she brings that piece and I bring the scrubs business piece. So if anyone's interested in design, message me so I, can tell you about that, or you can message her. But
Okay.
anyone who wants to run a scrubs business, meaning you want to sell other brands, you want to learn the business, and you can also open up a brick and mortar. I have a student right now; she's getting ready to launch her brick and mortar in September, and so the information you're
Okay.
getting is very useful for that purpose as well. The other qualifying things are you have to be serious. I've had people in the past who are not serious. They will register and then I don't see them again until the next time I'm doing this, announcement. And they're like, oh, I forgot I got to do my modules. Well, no more. No more. This is going to be capped at 90 days. That's one of the newest policies that I'm implementing, because I want to see people who really, really want this and they are ready
Mhm.
to succeed and not waste time. So if you are a go-getter, you're serious, you're not about to waste time, and you're ready to really get your business launched, it's for you. It's for you. And you are genuinely interested in this business model, online, mobile, even a scrubs bus or a scrubs van. I have a young lady who's getting her van wrapped right now. So
Nice.
and she's a nurse as well. And so it's really no limit. Um, so I welcome those types of people to come and work with us in Scrub Shop Academy.
I know in years past, some of the other live interviews that I've seen you do, you've
Mhm,
talked about how the scrub shop business actually um, is predominantly a white male business, and
mhm.
that you are a minority in this business,
Yes.
if I believe correctly. So, Black women are the quickest as far as launching businesses, and we are the
Mhm.
most educated. So this makes sense to me. It's like, why wouldn't we do something? I feel like that with, for instance, if we are the biggest consumers of natural hair products, like why don't we own those types of
Mhm.
shops? So if there are a lot of Black women and men going into nursing,
Yes.
and we're also opening businesses,
Mhm.
this is this is perfect. Like, we all need scrubs, we all wear
Yes.
scrubs. This is like a perfect business venture for us to
Mhm.
consider, because this is something that we're a consumer of the scrub industry anyways. And you broke through that glass ceiling in order to introduce, there's I don't think there's a lot of us that are doing it right now, but we're picking
Mhm.
up those numbers.
Yeah.
Kudos to people like you who are introducing more and more Black people into the scrub business. Would
Right.
you agree with that?
I totally agree. And that's very true about, it being a mostly male dominated and, Caucasians. And mostly that's behind the scenes. Those are the people who are in control. Okay. So even if you have a mom and pop actual brick and mortar, they may, be of a different minority. They're not necessarily Black. But the people who are in control are white males. And so even when I talk to people about how to get these accounts with these manufacturers, there's a certain language that you need to speak to them, and I mean, I even had a company, Koi actually, when I was
Mhm.
getting that account, and the guy was like, well, I don't have anybody right now selling Koi. And I was like, well, that's why you need me,
Right.
period. Like, I'm not like, don't you have to have a confidence, and you have to know, even though I already knew wasn't anybody really selling Koi, but those are the certain things you have to know what they know, because they're not going to necessarily tell you that information. But yeah, we have to really take advantage of being Black. Not even, I'm not saying it in a bad way, but now, just this year, I feel like in a lot of ways, certain things, we're being put more in the forefront. People are
Right.
actually seeking out Black owned businesses specifically, and they're not Black. They are asking, I got calls, are you truly a Black owned scrub store?
Mhm.
Yes, I am. I am. Last time I checked,
Mhm.
I was this morning. Yes.
Mhm.
So, it's like, oh, that's a weird question, but I just want to make sure. I'm like, that's not a weird question to me. I
We like it.
I feel very good about this. So,
Exactly.
so yeah, I mean, we just have to stay with this momentum as well that we are experiencing, and use it for good. You know what I mean? Take
Right.
pride in who we are and what we bring to the table, because all eyes are on us. You know what I mean? In a lot of ways, because they know they need to spend with us seriously, and then we need to spend with us.
Absolutely.
You know,
Yeah.
so. But yeah, Black hair, all of that, everything that we consume, we need to own some of it.
We should own it. We should own it. If we're the biggest consumers, we're the expert. We should be, but we're still struggling in a way to ownership. So yeah, I mean, every time I talk, that's what I'm gonna start talking about. Do you own it? You need to own it. We need to own that. It
Yeah,
just is what it is. It makes sense.
yeah.
Um,
And I want to say one more thing about that real quick.
mhm.
I don't, and this is something else that I've been seeing lately. Like, okay, well, you're Black owned, well, you don't have any Black models on your website, or you know, you're getting stuff from white people. Listen, my EIN and my tax ID
Come on.
number and my business is registered to me. You tell me where everybody else is getting their products from. They're not getting them from nobody Black. Most of them, 90% of them, they're getting it from China.
Mm,
Okay, they're getting it from South America. They're getting it from Randy in California, who don't look like you. So let's not be let's be clear. Black owned, and then Black, unless you're a Black manufacturer, if you want that information, then let's find those Black manufacturers. Let's find those Black distributors. That's a totally nother level.
That's a whole nother level.
Been tapped into. You know what I mean? So when I get people saying that, well, you don't have any Black models, or you're buying from white people. Your food is from white people. Sorry.
True. It's true.
Let's just keep it all the way real.
Well, look, there's a certain level of progress that we're going to have to make. Okay. Yeah. Here is a good entry level way to get you going. Okay. We can get to manufacturing and designing and distributing and all of that stuff.
And fabric.
But we can get to all of that. If there's somebody on here that wants to weave fabric, we can get there. Yes. However, this is a good way to get started. Yes. At minimum, we need more of us who are entrepreneurs who have multiple streams of income, period. Mm-hmm. Period. And then we can have other conversations about it, Yes. But I feel like this is a good way. If we're getting up every morning, putting on our compression stockings, putting on our scrubs, then why aren't we owning those businesses? Mm-hmm. So you're providing us with an excellent avenue to entrepreneurship in that area. So yeah, and something else I'll say that I found very interesting. I shared it with the group, and I shared it with you also about teachers. Mm-hmm. If I have anything to say, I will say, audience, you guys listen to news and trends and things like that. Listen to what they're telling you. Mm-hmm. I saw an article that said, well, because of COVID and the teachers are going to be going back to schools, they want teachers to wear scrubs instead of wearing their normal business attire because scrubs are easier. They can throw them in the washing machine. They're easier to clean and deal with, yada, yada, yada. Mm-hmm. Alarms went off. Mm-hmm. I'm not even in the scrub shop business, and alarms went off for me because I know that I have a population in this group who sells scrubs. Mm-hmm. If you can't sell to your local hospital, go up the street because the elementary school is going to need scrubs this year.
Exactly.
There are other.
And that was who called me asking about if I was a Black business. It was a teacher from Seattle.
Really?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Really? So we have to think outside of the box.
Yes. And you don't have to only listen, you could just do accessory store. Accessories are so much easier to sell. You can sell, they're way more easier to sell than scrubs. Or you can just do only shoes. You can just do plus size. I have a few people who are interested in just doing plus size or big and tall scrubs for people. So you can carve out whatever niche that makes sense and that there's a need for. You don't have to do everything exactly the same as other people. And that's why I also teach my students, well, what if so-and-so was in my city, or stand out? You have to stand out. And then think about, what you're going to offer that maybe they're not offering. We have to bring our own personalities into our businesses as well. There's certain little nuances that, I'm going to do that nobody else is going to do, and vice versa. They're going to do certain things as well, that maybe I'm not even thinking about, but it's so much opportunity. It really is. So, yeah.
I agree. So the last little bit, I want to give anyone who may have a question for Tina, I'll give you guys the opportunity to post your questions in the comment section. One of my good friends says, yes, honey, she wants the plus size shop to open. So y'all, somebody go ahead and open up that plus size shop. That's an excellent point that you just made. Mm-hmm. Let me just scroll through and just see if there's anything in here that anybody, while I'm doing that, do me a huge favor and go ahead and tell us two things. Mm-hmm. I want you to tell us about your book, because you have a book.
Yeah.
So, why not? We need to talk about the book. Talk about the book. And then I also want you to provide the audience with your handle so we can find you on social media.
Okay, wonderful. So, in 2019, I collaborated with Michelle Green Rhodes and the Nurse Entrepreneur Nation, I think.
Mhm.
But we did a anthology, and my book is called "Push Past Your Fear and Find Your Purpose." Can you still see me?
Yes.
Okay, my screen is frozen. And so this book tells a little bit about my story, as far as me getting started into entrepreneurship, but also 3 different times that I was able to overcome, adversity. And so if you want to get a signed copy of the book, I have a link that I can add to the chat or to the section there, and I will send you a signed copy. Or you can go to Amazon and just type in my name.
Amazon. Wait. You
What's that?
you in my bookstore, honey. Tell them
Oh,
to go to my bookstore. She is B&E platinum level, honey. That
oh yeah.
means that she's in the bookstore. Tell them to go to the bookstore.
Oh yes. Go to blacknursesentrepreneur.org, correct? And shop in the bookstore. We have a lot of great books there.
We
And so
do.
you'll be able to see mine's there. And I believe that link it'll give you both links if I'm not mistaken. So thank you for reminding me.
Yeah, look, we're in the bookstore. Y'all wanted a bookstore. I put up a bookstore for everybody because I believe that we have some of the best entrepreneurs and authors in the world in this group. So I always wanted to showcase and show us off. So yes, please go to the bookstore. She is there in the bookstore. I have a question for you.
Oh, okay.
How will the seats be chosen for the open house?
So as of right now, it's not necessarily that I'm going to choose them. It's just going to be, I would log on early as what I would do. I would get logged in so that your spot is there, you know, on your phone or on your computer. So if you've already registered, I'll be sending out more emails in the next few days, kind of going over that just to make sure that people don't like log in, leave, and then think they're going to log back in because you're not going to be able to. So, yeah. As
Okay.
long as you're registered as long as you've already registered, you'll get some emails talking about that. So,
Okay. And I cut you off briefly
oh,
because I'm sorry. Please forgive
what?
me. I want you to go ahead and tell the people how they can get in touch with you. Give
Oh,
us your social media handles.
yes, ma'am. So on Instagram, I am Tina M. Payne Consulting, and then also Grace Health Scrubs, also Scrub Shop Academy, if you want to follow that page as well. And then on Facebook, Grace Health Scrubs and Tina M. Payne, CEO, I think. I can't remember.
You're on LinkedIn too, right?
Yes, just
Mhm.
under Tina M. Payne.
Great.
So.
Okay. Perfect. Anything else you want to tell the audience?
I guess I'll just close with, if you are not 100% sure that Scrub Shop Academy is for you and you want to talk to me about my other options. So if you already have a scrubs business, but you need some additional strategies, I have a 90-minute strategy call that you can enroll or, register for. Then I also have one-on-one coaching. So that is a screening that, you will be taken through a screening process. But if you feel like there's some additional things that you want to get clarified, you can book a 15-minute discovery call with me. Just inbox me and I will get you that link. So,
Okay.
yeah, that's about it.
Okay. Any final thoughts? Somebody out there you know what, you have, like I said earlier today, you've overcome a lot of things in order to get to your purpose. What
Mhm.
is your final last thought for somebody that's kind of struggling, maybe have flunked out of nursing school, been through a divorce, childhood, whatever, dramas, issues, whatever? What is your last final thought for them?
Hmm. My last thoughts will be that you, first and foremost, have to believe in yourself. And any thought or any vision, desire, goal that God gave you, that is for you. So you have to figure out a way to get the confidence You have to get out of the fear mindset, because fear is not, it's good to have some level of fear, but it's not good to allow it to paralyze you from moving forward. So write your goals down, ask God to help you, or whoever you serve, to allow you to be able to manifest those things that you want to do. And you have to believe, and you also have to speak those things out loud, speak life
Yes.
into yourself.
Yes.
It starts with your mindset and with your mind. And then if you still feel like now you have the confidence to do it, but you don't know how to do it, then reach out and get help. Ask around who can help me, and be ready to accept that help. So you don't have to do things by yourself. You can always reach out and inquire, get referrals and things of that nature. So that's what I love about this group. A lot of people will refer you to the right, person to help you with your dreams and the things that you want to achieve. But don't give up.
Don't give up.
Period.
Don't give up. Don't give in.
Yes.
All right. Fantastic. Well, I thank you. I appreciate you. You've been um, just an awesome friend, an awesome mentor, even for myself. I don't even know if you really know. I don't know that you even know that you've planted a lot of seeds in me. Even though I'm not in scrub shop business, there are a lot of things within business that kind of correlate. They go across different business models. And you've just really put little seeds in me. And I'm like, I think I just need to take her stuff just because. I mean, I may not even sell one scrub ever, but just the knowledge, just the passion has been just so needed and necessary in my life even. And there's been times I was like about to give up, and you've said something that has helped motivate me to keep me going even within B&E. So I certainly appreciate that. I don't know. Look, I don't have any children, so I can't get the children advice, but business definitely. So I appreciate your time. I'm excited for where this is headed, and I know that this Scrub Shop Academy, the revamping of it and bringing in new things to it is going to be extremely beneficial. I've already seen some of the people that have gone through your previous academy and what they're doing. So I know that this is just going to be just that much better. So again, kudos to you, and I appreciate everything that you've done.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate you guys for watching and listening. Thank you so much, Alviana. I appreciate you so much.
You're welcome. So that is it for us today. Make sure that you're following us across all of our social media platforms. Join our private Facebook group, visit our website. And guess what, guys? We got an app now. Everybody download our app, okay? All of this information will be listed for you in the biography section of our podcast. And remember, until next time, I want you guys to remember we are trend setters, okay? We don't follow no trends around here outside of getting information. What we do is we are the trend. So we set all the trends that the world is going to follow us, right?
Yes.
So that is our time. Thank you guys. Good night.
Thank you. Bye-bye.